Should be able to hear and see. Welcome. Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com. Hopefully y'all are well and safe. Floridians, God bless. Blessings to y'all. What's going on, Ravi? Mother Nature's relentless this year. What's up, Port Max CT? Just adjusting this. Give me a moment. Joe Frank, Jackie. Hey, Jackie, hopefully you're well and safe down there. Not trying to put your where you are on the map, but on the internet, but hopefully you're good. I'm still a little off. You could probably tell from my voice, so I probably got the sniffles, the sneezes, all that, all good. Nothing crazy, just a cold, no big deal. Nothing a little market price action can't fix. What's going on, everybody? Near Robert? Yeah, Florida's crazy right now, or it was last night. Tornadoes dropping? What? Mother Nature always reminds us how little we really are. She could take people out, things out, with the flick of a finger. Appreciate every day. Okay, I think this would probably be the best that I got. That I'm going to get it. At some point, I'm going to be streaming straight on the. Still kind of doing like old school stream here, but at some point we will just screen share in the live trade rooms. The good news is, we screen share of course with webinar technology. All right. That being said, looks like we're good to go here for the most part. Let's dive in. Mr. Blue here, yeah? Mr. TradePhantoms.com. Today's date, put a timestamp on it. October 10th, 10/10, 2024. And this will be about an hour session, give or take. Go over some pre-market routine prep, map out some levels, institutional demand supply. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a Phantom member, double welcome. And so today's a big day, right? For the most part, we're going to get into the charts here. So let me make this a bit more bigger. We all should know, I kind of made a reference point of this on Tuesday live for YouTube. And, it shouldn't really be a surprise if you are a trader or investor in this marketplace. Today we have CPI. Already came out. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and unemployment claims. Those are the big, these are some big announcements here. All right, core inflation, is going to be, something major that the Fed is going to be looking at. Long story short, here is it did come in a little higher than expected, here, year over year, month over month, across the board. Okay, month over month, year over year, etc. And unemployment claims came in a little more hotter than expected as well. So, I'm not going to turn this into an economics class. We have this guy named Mr. Green, who he loves this fundamental macro stuff, and he does an excellent job of going through that. So the point that I'm trying to make here, without going into so much of the economics, is at the end of the day, we're going to have to, trade the reaction off of news, right? Sometimes you have good news, markets drop. Sometimes you have bad news, markets rally, right? To just keep it long story short and move on to the charts. So at the end of the day, we have to just go make sure that we're going to go to the charts and see how the market's reacting, responding, map out our levels, and prepare, right? Prepare. So that being said, right before I get into the charts, let me just bring this up. I bring this up religiously, like a morning prayer here. And it kind of sets the backdrop for some of the things that we do here at Phantoms. Institutional order flow, demand and supply. Okay, understanding the proper levels of demand and supply institutional wise, starting from a top-down approach, right? So multiple time frame analysis, right? So, I bring this up monthly, weekly, daily. I kind of color code things, orange, yellow, blue, right? Just me personally, there's a couple of questions here that can map out or help you map out your field of play, your roadmap, trade plan for the day, for the month, for the year, and it's just in general, right? And I just, again, like I color code things, so I kind of know what I'm looking at just via a color, right? So if I have like a monthly VWAP, it's going to be orange. Daily VWAP is going to be blue, etc. Yellow is going to be weekly, right? That's just me. You can do whatever you want there, but I just kind of bring this up. Candlesticks, location, most important, we have bullish candlesticks, most importantly coming from the higher time frames, okay, top 10 approach, monthly, weekly, dailies, okay. Bearish candlesticks, location, of course, being most important, monthly, weekly, daily supply, levels of supply, okay, institutional supply. And then we got the liquidity map, quadrant 1 through 4, and we discussed this in a lot more grand detail when we have more time and space inside of the live trade rooms and classes, etc. And that kind of just brings me right over to the charts, right? So I'm going to switch over here to Think or Swim. And I'm going to start out here with, typically as normal, with some index futures. Okay, so let me get that up right here. So I have the, even though we start on the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, okay, you'll see that in a moment. I have the S&P futures, daily time frame left, NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 bottom right. Start with the S&P here. And so this is S&P on a daily time frame, futures. And yesterday was a day. Yesterday was a bit more different than others because we finally kind of broke out, right? We broke out from this range that we've been talking about, okay, for quite some time. And right, we're macro bull market still, right? Of course, as we've been mentioning, and even if you go back to the the older videos, maybe weeks or months ago, okay, I went in some detail of discussing, pivots and all that kind of stuff, right? But for right now, because we got a busy day here today, with CPI, could add some volatility. We had a breakout yesterday, right? So we had an inside bar, it's called Harami, inside bar for a couple of days here, okay, range, and we broke out. Now we had all-time highs. Now, yesterday we did have a breakout, and we actually did catch that, right? We caught that in the room. We had some members trading. Actually, it's awesome to see because we have members that took it in IWM, Russell 2000. We had people traders that were taking it in NASDAQ, QQQs, NASDAQ futures, QQQs, ETF, SPYs. I was in SPYs. Okay, in S&P futures, so it's pretty unique, right? So it's pretty cool to see, the team winning is what I'm trying to say. Bottom line, which is great. So yeah, we caught that yesterday, which is great. Okay, now being the news that we had, it was on low volume. On the SPYs, it was very low volume on the rally up. Typically you want to see a lot more volume on the breakout. But again, we're already at all-time highs, so it's like anybody who's already long is already long, right? So it's we just have to be a little careful on this, right? But at the end of the day, yeah, we popped out new highs here. Okay, now we'll drop down in a moment to the smaller time frames, and you'll be able to see a couple of the price points lower down here regarding where, because as you can see, futures are down. They're not down dramatically here. S&Ps are down as it stands right now, 0.39%. So just under 0.5%, and we're dropping, albeit, but we're not dropping. We're not giving back so much from yesterday. Okay, but it's very early. We'll see. Regular trading hours, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, is going to be opening up pretty soon. Okay, so we got to do, of course, some prep. So I'll drop down to the smaller time frames in a moment. I can say the same thing for NASDAQ here as well, where, we popped out. Okay, we had a nice little positive COG close that we were mentioning yesterday, which was on Tuesday's bar closing. And I was like, we might be able to get some fall through here. And it popped out, right? It popped out. But with the NASDAQ, of course, we're not at all-time highs, right? We are not at all-time highs. Now I'm going to save some time here, shave some time off, because I believe in the past recording, even just on Tuesday, and maybe even a couple days prior, last Thursday or last Tuesday when I do these lives on YouTube's, I went and I referenced this QQQ unfilled gap here, okay, and there's the unfilled gap on Qs here. I'm not going to talk about that as much detail here today because I want to kind of move on and talk about a couple of other things. Okay, specifically, I want to see if we can sneak into some kind of a SPX cheap call or put. So that's one of the things I wanted to give as kind of a trick or treat October chocolate for you, right? Or treat candy for you or for you folks. But just to reference that real quick, we do have that gap fill up here, or unfilled gap, I should say, right? 496.34, and this unfilled gap right here for 71.44. Okay, so as you can see, NASDAQ popped out here. All right, now we did not, break out last month high or anything like that, while S&Ps are making and enjoying new highs. All right, high on the sugar. Okay, QQQs are not so much. Okay, but we'll see. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, we have to pass today first. All right, and slight gap down, as you can see on QQQs, which I'll reference in a moment. Okay, so yeah, just map out, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. All right, Nasdaq's down what 0.55% right now. All right, and on the darker background here, you'll see the price points a bit more clearer, and then just know that up overhead too as well. Even in futures, we have this level in here that still needs to be absorbed in the event that Nasdaq wants to potentially push higher, right, above to make all-time highs. All right. Right now, if I'm looking at the more weaker one, we have Russell 2000 right here on the bottom right, and that's down 0.81% right now. So if I were to compare all these major 4 indexes, okay, Russell's the weakest one so far off the back of CPI, followed by second weakest would be the Dow Jones. I'm sorry, not the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq. All right, and then we have S&P, and then Dow Jones is just kind of holding up a little bit more stronger. It's still down, all right, but it's not down as much, say, as the other 3. So that's pretty unique. So attacking strength, Dow Jones futures, okay, or diamonds, DIA for ETFs if you stock or options trader, all right. For weakness, right, we're looking at, I would say, bit more of the Nasdaq in the Russell 2000. You can see Russell 2000 has just been almost kind of like a nightmare to trade lately because it's just not really doing much. It's just parked right there. Okay, but even that being said, yesterday we had a couple of members, ask a couple of questions about IWM and had a nice little trade on IWM, albeit even though we are inside range still because IWM did not break out. All right, I'm going to move on here. We get a lot to cover here. I'm going to go switch over here to the monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, let me change this over to the S&Ps. Okay, now I'm going to go straight to the small time frame, but I always just want to remember and remind folks. Okay, always. I got monthly here on the left. I got weekly here in the middle, and I got daily here on the right. This is classified as monthly, weekly, daily. Top down, high time frames first. Okay, even if you're a short-term scalper, okay, you're just trying to take a couple of points off the S&P, Nasdaq, what have you. Okay, you still need to know where you are on the bigger, higher time frame picture, monthlies and weeklies. That being said, I will drop down to the smaller time frames. Okay, I got the 60-minute time frame here, upper left. I got 30-minute down here, bottom left. I got the 5-minute here in the middle, followed by the 2-minute time frame here on the right. I'm going to pop up in the 60-minute time frame as that bridge for the small time frame connecting to the bigger time frame. And one of the first things we want to do here is map out what's called a Globex trap, or I'm sorry, Globex high and lows, and that's going to be the overnight high, overnight low. Zoom in a little bit, and usually typically draw like a blue line here, right? So you can see this gray space in Thinkorswim. This is the overnight session. So we're still in the pre-market session. Futures are open, of course, all right, but the stock market's been open about 30 minutes, okay, 9:30 Eastern, of course. And right now, off of the back of CPI, you can see, we had a quick spike up. Okay, and then we kind of slammed down a little bit here on CPI, right? So the first reaction was a quick little spike up that happened probably in about seconds, right? So that's probably just computer algos that are going to be able to take advantage of that. Okay, unless you have a limit order somewhere up here and you got filled. Okay, and then we have, where's my Globex low? I just had it over here. We have our Globex low now. Right now, this is our Globex low. This could change over the next 20, 30 minutes, give or take. This could change, right? But for right now, this is the Globex low. All right, comes in about 58.13s, give or take. And one of the things we want to do is map out institutional level of demand below Globex low. Okay, but before I do that, just note that here we had levels here, right? Yesterday's high, and yesterday was a breakout day, folks. So it was tough to short the market yesterday, right? So we weren't even really trying to go short. The only thing that I shorted yesterday was we had a member take TSM short, which was a monster trade. Shout out to Garrett, man, awesome, killed that trade. We caught Google short. And I did a little bit of AMD short as well. So semiconductors and Google, but everything else was bullish. SPYs, Microsoft, Apple, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I didn't even though we had these levels kind of mapped out, I've been mentioning, what market are we in? Are we in a bull market or bear market? And everybody's raging like bull, bull, bull. So if these levels get taken out, you can't really be so kind of, surprised about that because we're in a bull market, right? So yesterday was a nice little kind of like breakout day from range break. Okay. So, I just wanted to reference that. I'm not just bypassing that, right? All good, right? And that being said, well, that was yesterday. Well, what's going to be happening potentially today, right? So first initial move up, quick little quick spike up. Then we have a move down. Are we going to continue down potentially? But always process over everything. So stay consistent to your process, right? So stick to the process. Globex low is here. Do I have an institutional level of demand below Globex low? And I do have something here, albeit this was kind of the basing. We have an impulse, a basing, and an impulse. What's called an IBI. You'll learn more about that in the event that you take. You become a member with Phantoms. Okay, we have classes regarding that. Okay, and we have something here. All right, this was kind of like the morning. All right, it's kind of just similar to this one over here, which I still have on the dock here, by the way. But we have to get through this one potentially first. This was the level. This was the level that started to develop overnight, and then ding, 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 market opened. All right, we based and we started to break up, right? And then probably like the first maybe 30 minutes, give or take. The market was a little choppy, other thing, right? Some stocks were up, some stocks were down on FANG. Then we started to eventually, get some legs and leg up into breaking a new high. Okay, so we would have to put some kind of respect on this level right here, because albeit this was, you'll learn how to score a certain level to make sure that you're identifying the proper zones. Institutional wise, okay, this was the breakout leg, okay, from this supply here and absorbing this supply and this supply all-time high supply, okay. So we would have to put some respect on that. So that being said, what does that price come in at? I'll call it. I'm gonna go a little bit below the even number here. Call it 57.96. I'll just use even math just to keep it pretty simple for right now. All right, so this could be potentially used as a Globex trap, bullish. What's called a Globex trap. All right, beyond the scope right now, we teach this in a bit more detail, of course, when we have more space and time, as mentioned. But yeah, that's something worth noting right here. Now, I will just put this as Globex trap demand, yes. I'm going to put an aggressive here because demand meaning bullish, but I'll put an asterisk with an aggressive note here. If I may, because in the event that this CPI data does just provide some more higher volatility and markets do sell off a bit more deeper, okay, this is the level right below it, and we could break that, right? I mean, we could break that. So there's another level right here. This is fairly obvious, and this is what's called a test to this over here, which is not even the greatest level in the world either. Okay, but long story short, because I'm looking at the time here, 27 minutes before open, 57.96. I got it right. Could be what's called the Globex trap, and then if that were to break, okay, we do have 57.70 here as well. And I also had a note here yesterday as well for aggressive down here. Okay, so these two levels here with the prices, 57.98 and 57.70, are going to be more of the levels that I can lean against. Okay, in the event that we drop down. Okay, into these said demand levels. Okay, I'm not even gonna map out supply because we just took out all-time high supply. So this is all-time high supply here. So we could just update our charts, of course, as always. Okay, and just reference this as now our new potential all-time high. Okay, which it is, right? So yeah, and again, this level down here, 57.38, is wild. This thing has just been holding up like a brick wall, right? But I'm not even going to discuss that right now because we would have to cross this bridge, and then go to this bridge before we even get lower down here. Okay, so we don't even have enough time for that right now. All right, so 5796, 5777, 5770. Sorry, 5796 here, 5770. Okay, down in here. All right, 60-minute time frame. All right, NASDAQ. Keep it long story short, sweet here. Oddly funny. It's funny you ask, oddly funny, because one of our good members, this guy named Eric, we were having actually a talk not too long ago about this, where all-time highs is kind of somewhat annoying to trade sometimes because it's hard to short because it's all-time highs and it just grinds higher, right? But then it's you always have to worry about these volatility spikes and these bigger moves down, right? And CPI and Fed and geopolitical things could happen where that could just cause the market to have a short-term spike down. So all-time highs are great. I got long-term portfolios that are performing beautiful. I'm loving these all-time highs right now. In a couple of accounts, I have some SPY puts and things like that that are taking some heat because I'm using that as a hedge, okay, as a hedge trade. But yeah, I mean, if I had more time, we could discuss that a bit more. But yeah, I mean, all-time highs are great. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes they could be quite frustrating sometimes for traders because it's like you don't want to short it because the shorts are just not working out, right? But then it's like also it's like, well, do I really want to buy all-time highs? Right? The age-old tale in trading is buy low, sell high, right? But if we're at all-time highs, it's high. So it's right. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. So you just gotta stay diligent, do your thing, stick to your process, and you'll be all right. If you map out your levels and you know where you're at, you'll do fine, or you should do fine, right? If you stay disciplined and calm and cool, collected. But that's a great note there. Oddly funny, and it's funny you ask. Here's the level here. Nasdaq. Long story short. All right, I'll just copy and paste this line here. Save a couple of seconds. All right, that comes in about, again, this is going to be aggressive. Same thing I said for S&P. I'm not going to repeat myself there. All right, especially with the sniffles. 20,270. I'm sorry, 20,000. Jeez, NASDAQ has so much numbers. 20,000 to, I got it right the first time. All right, 20,270 there. All right, now again, you could probably like, what about these? What about this? What about that? Just be careful with these. All right, these are all wicks, right? You want formation, okay? We want formation, and the next formation down here is going to be this IBI, 20, what is this? Geez, 20,095. All right, so these are two spots that you could take light on, potentially. All right, now if you're short, okay, if you're already short, coming in hot, as I would call it, right, this is where you will want to buy to take some profit, right? Right, you're short, you want the price to come down, okay, coming down into demand, buy to cover, okay? And again, we talk about liquidity in advanced classes in Phantoms. What makes the markets go up, what makes the market go down, supply, demand, okay? But yes, right? But also there's 4 types of order, there's 2 orders, buy and sell, but there's 4 types, right? Buy to enter, sell to buy to enter, okay, on bull, to be bullish, sell to exit on rallies, or sell short to enter, to engage the market short, and then you eventually would have to buy to cover the exit. Okay, that's well beyond the scope of this YouTube right now. Okay, I did map this out yesterday for the team. Again, same thing. We had a couple levels up here. We were talking about Globex traps and liquidity and all that. And we had level on level. I mapped out, this level, a couple levels here. This yesterday got kind of blown out, but again, we weren't taking these. We were more inclining. We were long. Okay, the team was long, which was great. Right, so we were long, taking profit up into here. But where it stopped was 20,450, which isn't surprising much because this was the 3rd level higher, and it was deeper up into this daily supply zone on Nasdaq. Okay, so that could be used as a reference point. The next stop could potentially be 20,500 up here, and that could be a reference point too in the event that what if the markets just rally off the open, right? So you're gonna have a plan for everything, right? So more reactive. So it's like more like, okay, if the market does this, then that. If this, then that. Okay, well, if this, then that. Like a robot, right? So anyways, I don't have enough time for that. So yeah, there's the playing field for the most part here. 20,500. Okay, Globex trap short, and then we got these 2 levels down in here, right? 270 and 95, 20,095. All right, I'm gonna do gold, and I'll do crude first quickly. All right, very quickly, gold future. No, why do I keep mixing it up? Jeez, so I'm looking at gold right here, gold orange here. So we got oil futures. If I can get my words right. Monthly over here, weekly, daily, right? Range for years, okay? Range for years. Be careful here because we are in the middle of range, so it's been kind of choppy, right? Coming from location down here, okay? So we rallied up, okay? We absorbed this supply level here, right? We had a couple of pickoffs here. Then, we had a nice red bar putting about 2 days ago. Yesterday, we had a little doji bar here, red bar, no continuation here. What was once supply kind of flipped over here, demand. We had levels mapped out down here, okay? And then, we are, oil is slightly higher right now, right? So it'll be pretty interesting. We'll see if we can take out yesterday's high being here, above that top wick right there. And if I map out our Globex strap, I don't know if anybody took this. We had this mapped out, 7150. Kind of nailed that, right? But, I'm not surprised one bit because when you Joint Phantoms, you will learn how to look and analyze a chart. Excuse me. Again, I apologize. I'm a little, not 100% here. My body. Uh, you'll know how to analyze the proper levels of demand and supply. Missed by a tick. It happens. My good friend Jose Frank, who's a member in here too, I think he missed wheat by a couple of ticks as well. It happens. It happens to the best traders in the world. So it comes with the business, right? It comes with the business. Firefighters have to deal with getting burned every once in a while, right? Cops have to deal with getting shot at every once in a while, right? Right? Nurses have to deal with, somebody who is just like not having a good day, right? Right? Doctors, surgeons get blood splattered on them every once in a while. Right? Every job, every career has to deal with some kind of shit, right? Oops, said a bad word. Can't do that on YouTube. So 7150, that's still fairly valid in the event that we come a little bit more deeper down in here. To keep a long story short, 69.55 could be a little bit better, not better because it's already tested down here. It's going to be more of a liquidity. In the event that we do rally above the Globex high, which I just put in right there, above here. Do I have supply up here? Yes, but this is a kind of fairly ugly level here. A lot of time spent here. But that might be decent for a pickoff. The next one would be kind of up here, but these are not great up here, folks. So, in the event that oil gets coming out of this mid-range and we get legs potentially, and we start to break yesterday's high, we might be able to pull up a little bit more higher. So I'd say be very diligent up here as there's not really nice, clean levels of supply. All right, if I had a little bit more time, I would go and investigate, and I would say this, you can make a note for yourself here too. You can maybe investigate the anything above the 7850 handle up here. All right, and if I would just go to the daily time frame really quick, 7850, we have a weekly high right in here. This is all wick up here, folks, on the weeklies. So in the event that oil bases in the middle of this range and we do come higher, okay, we might be looking at oil 80 prices. Okay, oil 80 prices, right? For the record, disclaimer, I am long XOM still for the swing, okay? And we'll see, right? We'll see. I'm liking oil right now, pre-market off the back of CPI for that said XOM trade, right? But I'm also long puts on spot, which are not doing so well for that kind of hedge, as I mentioned. Crap, Jose, if somebody who asked that, I apologize. I apologize to make you do it again, but I don't know if it was a question, but if you don't mind, can you copy and paste that again so I can see it because it popped out. It appeared, but it left really quickly. Apologize. So I got monthly, weekly, daily here on gold. I just switched over to gold futures, and we had a push down on this. We were talking a little bit about this inside bar over here from last week, and we kind of broke down a little bit here. Okay, on the weeklies. If I had a little bit more time, I explain that in a bit more detail. But if I go to just a 60-minute time frame to keep it short and sweet here, this is our Globex high. And folks, in oil and gold, these levels that we map out every day are fairly good. I just had a heartwarming email. Please don't email me. I don't like emails. But it wasn't a question email. It was like, hey, from a member. They passed their prop firm just with taking the levels from oil and gold on just pre-market prep, not even in the futures focus class yet. So kind of crazy, right? It's always good to see that kind of stuff, right? Success stories, that's why we're here, all right? Helping people, real traders, helping other aspiring traders, okay? The point that I'm trying to make is, 2620 is like the Globex low, give or take, and we had that level mapped out. Okay, so we had an IBI here, all right, had that level mapped out, right? So, just picking off your levels, and that's not even the greatest level. I have daily demand down in here, 2600, okay, 2681, and I got the weekly down in here, 2540. So, yeah, it may take some time for the levels to hit, the good levels to hit, right? But when they hit, and you're patient, okay, and disciplined to wait for those, waiting for those high quality institutional levels of demand, and supply, they work out very well, okay? Very high probability, and that's what we're looking for as traders, right? We live in a probability based business, so we're looking for the highest of probabilities to put in our favor, right? So do I have supply above? Yeah, we do. I mean, it's hard to just ignore this level right here. All right, now then, this is the Globex trap long, but this is kind of like over here, right? Should probably just delete these. We had a bounce here, next level down, bounce here, great, bounce. So I'm probably just gonna have to update that, okay, right now, because I don't want any confusion here. Okay, for a Globex trap short, excuse me. You can pin this level right here. I probably want to be a bit more on the extreme because remember, gold is in the macro picture, monthly, weekly, daily bullish up, right? So just be very safe, right? Globex trap short on this very safely and diligent, right? Be sure to wait for decent levels to short against on short if you're looking for a G trap. Short. All right, so I'll make a note of that. I'll do a G trap short here. However, I'm going to put the asterisk on this, making it quote unquote aggressive because we're in a macro picture uptrend. Okay. All right, for some day trades, things like that, might not be bad. Now, if you're already long, this would be the place where you'd want to take some profit, right? Buy low, sell high. Okay. And, we have a couple levels up here. And again, just being super conservative on this to keep y'all safe. All right, look at all this wick. So there's really nothing here. That's the thing. So if gold pulls back, right, a bit more deeper, I'm hoping that it actually gets down lower for some weeklies and daily price levels. So not only can we take day trades and pickoffs for that, but we can also load up some of the longer term swing accounts, longer term portfolio accounts, right? So here at Phantoms, we don't just focus on just one style of trade. We do it all, baby, right? We do it all. Okay, day trade, swing trade, long-term invest, everything, all markets, stocks, futures, forex, options. We even did a crypto piece yesterday evening. The team showed out yesterday. Shout out to Jill and Shay. Whew, they were putting in some great stuff for the team. Love it. All right, I'm going to transition here to stock and equities. Options, stock and, wow, I can't even speak English today. Stock and options. Real quick, sectors, XLK, got the extended market hours just right here. All right, on the bottom, on the top right here, just kind of follow down. I got the sectors here. Hopefully y'all can see that. And, long story short here, we got, some sectors green, energy slightly up, right? And then we got tech down, right? So tech's a little heavy. Tech, tech extremely important because it's one of the strong, the most weighted sectors. In the S&P, it's basically all Nasdaq. So if tech remains heavy, that's definitely noteworthy. Okay. Again, if I have more time, go a little bit more. We go over what's called sector rotation. But here, let me get to the point here. Got 12 minutes. VIX, VIX. Okay. And we're a little elevated on VIX. So if you notice, pay attention, folks, right? S&P's made all-time highs. But the VIX is still remaining elevated. Typically, when the markets are typically making all-time highs, you typically would see VIX at or around lows, extreme lows. So you can see this SPY and S&P futures all-time highs. AVGO, Broadcom made another all-time high yesterday. So we got some big stocks at or around all-time highs. Just speaking in terms of S&Ps, but the VIX is remaining elevated. Okay, so the VIX is giving us just a little bit of okay, great, yeah, we're at all-time highs. But if VIX is up, that means VIX up, market down, VIX down, market up. So inverse correlation, right? So I don't want to get too heavy here, but just note that we are on a new all-time high in S&Ps, but we're on an elevated VIX. Okay, we're not in a quote-unquote all-time high environment. Typically you just see VIX at or around maybe down here, just to keep it short and simple and sweet. Does that make sense? But we don't have that. All right, we don't have that. So the VIX market, the volatility market, is telling us a little bit of something here. Like, okay, great. Just be careful with these all-time highs. Right. This is why I'm not telling folks, to go crazy with swing trades all the way up here, all-time highs. Right. So now day trades, yes, we were crushing some longs yesterday. Right. But just keep an eye on that. Okay. And I'll do my best to stay in tune for even you folks on YouTube. Okay. SPY. All right, yesterday's close just on a daily time frame right now. All right, SPY close here, slight gap down here. We're gapping down to essentially halfway through what we made went to the upside yesterday. And yeah, VIX, exactly. Yes. Exactly. Joe Frank's a little bit more of a veteran trader. And he's giving us some notes there. VIX is letting us know, okay, just be careful because if you mess around and find out up here buying your stocks too high, you might you might be in a little pain. So just be careful on that. Let's see. So we have a gap down here, pre-market quote 575 handle, give or take. Gap down, but inside gap. Qs, same thing. Qs a little bit more weaker today. All right. We couldn't even break last month's high here. IWM, the weaker one, right? So IWM, if I look at the SPY, gap down, but an inside gap. Inside gap meaning we're gapping down still inside of yesterday's range. Same thing with Qs. The difference with IWM is that yesterday's close was here, green bar. If you can see that, if I kind of zoom in a bit here more. Green bar close here, and we're opening potentially down here. So we have, if I look at yesterday's low being here, okay, we are gapping below, okay, below yesterday's low, which is what's called an outside gap. Okay, so small caps, Russell 2000. Okay, this is the IWM, which is the ETF for Russell. We could trade shares or options on this, is a bit more weaker. So if I wanted to attack weakness, okay, I'd have to kind of pick on the weak one, right? So you kind of, in trading, you kind of have to be a bully, unfortunately, right? Don't do that in school and things like that, right? And to people, in trading, this is business, right? So you kind of have to you kind of have to be a bully and pick on the weak, right? Stay with the strong crew, right? And kind of pick on the weak. So, Russell 2000, unfortunately, you're a little bit more the weaker one here today. So I'm going to be more lenient, okay, on shorting or being bearish on IWM versus something like SPY and Qs, okay? Apple, caught Apple yesterday, okay, bullish, okay? I have some puts on Apple, just like swing on November. Hindsight, I kind of wish I went to November 15th. I made a note of that to the crew yesterday. But for today, right now, we got 8 minutes for open. Slight gap down, still inside gap. All right, so we'll see. A lot of these tickers are going to be gapping down inside of the middle of yesterday's range. So I'll say it one time to kind of put it in all totality. You see how the intraday price action develops when that market opens. Okay, right now so far IWM is the only one that really has an outside gap, at least being down. Amazon, on the other hand, does have an outside gap as well. Yesterday's close here. All right, we are gapping up. All right, but there is a daily, this daily level, right? Not a daily, I shouldn't say level because it's not really structured there, but there is a daily high there. So you want to just be a little careful on that. And right above that daily high, we have last week's high, okay, with this base drop IBI right above here. So even if Amazon does continue higher, okay, we want to just be a bit cautious on that with this supply zone right above 2 days ago high, give or take, okay? Let me just make that red so there's no confusion there. Okay, so we'll see. Now, talking about relative strength, relative weakness, while other things are gapping down, Amazon is gapping up. Okay, so this is, for the gap, is just relatively a bit more stronger for the gap. Okay, but we have to put that gap into perspective. Okay, put that gap into perspective. And if we were to snap above here, there might be some liquidity. Okay, so I don't want anybody to get trapped buying too high up in here. Okay, because above a daily high, at or around last week's high inside of this drop right here. Okay, so that price point comes in nice. Thank God it's a nice, easy, simple number here. Okay, 188. So you might want to put that on your radar. Okay, if you do manage to get long on this because we have intraday tape that's lining up, I would highly recommend, okay, to take profit fairly aggressive up here, and maybe even look at, all other things being equal, maybe even looking at what we would call a front side entry short here. Okay. But again, you might want to look at something that might be a bit more weaker versus something like Amazon, right? Which is gapping up a bit more stronger. Google, we caught Google yesterday, okay, which was good. The team shouted it out. We nailed it. Good. That was yesterday. What's today? Slight gap down. Google, yes, is in the talk right now. Government's trying to come after them a bit, trying to break down their company. Don't have enough time to discuss that. All right. So as always, just trade the tape. But right now they're on the back of who wants the government on their back? Not I. So we'll see. They have plenty of money to get good lawyers to see what happens there. But they're trying to dismantle the monopoly that Google potentially that they feel they have. Okay. To keep it short. Today, Tesla robo-taxi day. Robots are taking over. Okay. Where's James Conner and Terminator and Arnold? Go with the robots if you want to live. Slight gap up. This one's going to be tough. I've actually took 2 losses on Tesla the past 2 days. right? So I'm mad right now at Tesla. No, I'm just kidding. There's no emotion, right? Took my little small loss, okay, and got out, okay, kept it moving. Maybe, well, if I had more time, I would probably go into a little something here. With the robo taxi thing that is happening later today after the close, there might be some volatility coming in on this. Long story short, I kind of, it's not about what I wish and want, because it's not about what I want, right? It's about what the market does. But the point that I'm trying to make here is I almost wish that it was in a better location for me to get a better, between demand and supply, location-wise. We talk about that when I have more time. But it's kind of in the middle of everywhere. So, in what's called a pinch, right? So we're like above certain VWAPs here, below certain VWAPs here, and we're kind of just in the middle. So, unfortunately, it's not as, I would say, can't give this like a high grade score of what may or may not happen for that event, unfortunately, right? For the record, I am still holding some of the swing long calls that we've put on for like a long time ago. Okay, only 25% of my position, so I'm already coming into Robo. All right, fairly long. All right, at my stop loss. Right now, of course, I gave back some profits on 25% of the position here, but that's okay. I'm still in, right, because I booked many gains on the overall position. But I don't want to be selfish here in saying this, but I am already in play with it. Albeit I only have 25% of the original position on, but I am already kind of coming in hot with some bullishness. But what if it drops down, and then therefore I'll be giving back some more profit. And I have my stop loss at premium. It was like 830 or something like that. Yesterday I think they closed at about 11 something or 10 something. Okay, so I got couple points of wiggle room. So we'll see. All right, AVGO, one of my go-tos, favorite relative strength. Can't believe I missed a trade on this yesterday. Usually I catch AVGO almost every day. But slight gap down, AVGO broke records yesterday by making all-time highs here. So we'll see, of course, how that price action develops. But that's been one of the more dominant, stronger, big stocks. Okay, FANG stocks. And I know there's many stocks out there, folks, for you new folks on the tube. Okay, but trading options, I want to make sure that we have the most liquid options products available. So therefore, I got the big boys and girls of the trade, right? The Magnificent Sevens, or 10, I would probably add. Could get NVIDIA. We got anyways, I digress. Saying too much here. Relax. Microsoft slight gap down. Microsoft caught Microsoft yesterday. Good, cool. But we're slight gap down, inside gap. The where we are location wise is still kind of annoying here. So intraday tape is going to be something that you definitely want to stay close to. NVIDIA. Yesterday was interesting. Semis, gapped up. We had a gap in what's called gap up and crap. And I mentioned that in the for the room yesterday. And a couple people took TSM, caught AMD kind of late, but today, long story short, let's see, we have a slight gap down, inside gap. Really, this can go anywhere. One thing I did mention or wanted to mention here for you folks is, we had the supply zone here. Okay, now we broke it. Yesterday we retested it. So it'll be pretty interesting to see if NVIDIA can hold some bids here off the open. We do have weekly VWAP down in here as well. Okay, so let me just see if I can get you a zone structure here. There's an unfilled gap right down here. I'm not sure if we're gonna get down there. All right, we've got weekly VWAP right here. The market's just open here. So there might be a bit of a trap with VWAP, that yellow VWAP line. Y'all might not be able to see that. Market just open, so I gotta go check some internals and see. All right, that comes in at about what, 130, call it 130.50. I'm sorry, 130.70. If y'all can see that. All right, that might be an interesting one to maybe pick off. If you're coming in short, hot, off the open here. TP some there, and you might be able to get a little pick off there. All right, market just open. Let's just check something out here real quick, internal wise. So I can find, I'm purposely kind of letting that 1-2 minute go by here as I just check internals very quickly. Even map out VIX high and low here. We'll see. Stay close to VIX today, folks. All right. If you get any spikes in VIX, make sure you take that into your trading model. Of course, we got gap down. Advanced declines, negative 770, not super extreme. Plus or minus 1800 would be. Vol D 1.70 first print, not extreme. Plus or minus -3 would be extreme. All right, cool. Let's go get some, let's go over here and see what's going on with some individual tickers. I want to start with IWM, see how that is printing here. All right, so we mentioned that IWM is a bit more of the weaker one here, right? So if I look left, we are coming into, this is IWM on a 30-minute time frame, right? Small caps, we talked a bit about that, right? We are coming into this level right here, albeit, so we better be a little cautious on this one here. Okay, off the open, it is more one of the weaker ones, and we do have a 2-minute wide range bar off the open, okay? But I don't have enough time to talk about position sizing, but you could, what's called scale in, okay? You can maybe take a smaller position size here, because in the event that we just take a bounce up off of here, okay, you won't be too bottom heavy, okay? So that being said, if I were to pick this off right here really briefly, IWM, long put for bearishness. Come on, take a swim. I gotta give it a little space because it is. Come on. I'm sure there's some extra volume coming in with CPI. If you were to look at the 215 strike put, okay, that's only going for about what 57 cents, so fairly cheap. Okay, so I'm gonna pick these up. All right, now remember, these could do a small correction on you here. All right, but if I pick up the 215 strike put, which I'm gonna do right now, which I just paid 68 cents for. In the event that it pulls up a bit off that level, we could potentially add to this, okay? So I bought a put, which is bearish, right? Day trade. This would be a day trade. All right, and I put a line there to kind of reference that. All right, let's see. All right, so we got Tesla. Water bar down. Apple, let's see, hold on. Check SPYs. Tesla does have wide range bar on the 2, but I just want to be a little careful with Tesla right there, on down there. Let's see, AMD kind of breaking down a bit. We had somewhat, I would like it to be a better engulfing bar here on the daily. But AMD long put looks good here. Let me just make sure we are not running into some high quality demand. The caveat here is that we're in what's called the rising 20, rising 50 buy zone here, but there's not that high quality demand here. What I'm trying to do is attack weakness. For right now, okay. So, I will, let me see if that could prove to us a bit more there. Let's see if I could find something that's a bit more aligned here. Amazon, I want to be a little patient on that. Okay, Microsoft here. Okay, Microsoft looking decent here, and this is still one of the more weaker ones. Fixing for a Microsoft put here, below yesterday's low here. A little bit of a topping tail, more of the weaker one overall. So Microsoft might be looking for. I don't really like the 5-minute close. It would have been better if it was a better close on this. But we have a nice little. It's not really official negative COG here, unfortunately. But let me see. Microsoft. IWM is printing there a little bit there for you folks. Let's see, Microsoft. This was yesterday's bullish trade. I don't want to delete that data, but if I'm looking at Microsoft here, if I were to pick up the 412, those are going for about the bottom one here, the 412 half strike, the bottom one right there, 412 half strike, put. Okay, those are going for about $1.70. Okay, I'm gonna pick these up. Microsoft 412 half put, tomorrow's expiration, day trade. Going for $1.70-ish. Bearish. Bought put. Boom, boom, bang, bang. I'll give you the fill in a moment. This bottom one got them for, what did they give me? 166, looks like. All right, that bottom one there. You know, not the greatest formation here, but, you know, I like the entry here just because, you know, we did get it on a little bit of a pullback on VWAP right now. Very early, not a strong negative COG here. SPYs are trying to break down a bit. Futures trying to break down a bit. We do have a negative COG print on 5-minute time frames on, well, not yet, 2-minute time frame on S&P futures. Good, so plus P means I bought put. Day trade, which is going to be bearish. All right, represented by this kind of blue line, give or take right there. All right, for futures, you might want to be diligent here on this. This would be an interesting bar close here. So at 10 a.m., this bar might be a negative COG. Okay, coming in. All right. All right, AMD is giving us potentially some play here too. On the bearish side, let me pull trig on that. Not Bitto, AMD. So tomorrow's expiration quickly here for a day trade. I want to get a little lower delta on this because we're not 100% what's called aligned on multiple time frame analysis here. But if I pick up the 165 strike, put that bottom one right there, that's going for about $1.48, give or take. All right. The only thing is it's not greatly aligned. That's the only thing. But let's see if I were to pick up the 165 strike here, it was going for about $1.40. You might want to do maybe half size on this. Reason being is because I don't have enough time to explain, but it's not what's called it's not lined up top down from the higher time frames being monthly to daily all the way down to the small time frames. All right, but just pick these up here for $1.50 right here, lock that up for the 165 strike put AMD. You know, smaller size on this, so I'm probably not going to, I didn't do you know, maximum size on this for the reasons discussed. David Wright, thank you, sir. TP, which means take profit on IWM. Thank you, sir. All right, so let's do that. All right, we got a nice little move down here. All right, LSTP sum, these are going for 88 cents not too long ago. So from 68 to 88, just percent-wise, looks good, right? So, yeah, TP sum, take profit. right? Just getting the morning started here. So just sold some off at what, 80 cents? Still in, right? Trying to ride winners, 215 strike. Snagged some 80 cents there. Just really quickly. Small little trade. IWM is not like SPX or anything or SPYs. We have this thing called TP Timber. If you know, you know. Phantoms. Just take profit. All right, pulling back there. Q's are trying to break down a little bit. Apple as well. All right, we're in Microsoft. NVIDIA trying to hold bids here. It's not going to be good for AMD. Which is why I mentioned, do smaller size on that. Tesla is following through to the downside a little bit there. AMD just flushed out a little bit here. Y'all see that, right? Let's see. So my fill's bad on this. So these are not pumping on this new low. So that's telling me that this AMD trade is not going to be looking good. All right, I've been doing this a long time, and when you get a new flush like that and you're still below your entry, but the premiums are not pumping, that gives me a clue, right? I follow the market, right? I don't think and fail. I'm dead inside for trading. And ironically, you make more money because you don't care as much, right? I care about my money, right? But I'm not emotional, is what I'm trying to say. So I study flows, right? I look at the chart. So the point that I'm trying to make is the fact that we flushed a little bit more lower, these were probably printing a little bit, but even when we still were just like right here a couple minutes ago, okay, those premiums were not pumping. So if you wanted to bail on AMD right now, that would be fine. You take a quick little 20-cent loss because it's not, like I said, I was mentioning you got to be careful with that trade to begin with. And the fact that NVIDIA is kind of holding bids right now, okay, a semi, AMD is as well. But most importantly, that premium lack of pump is giving us, is giving me, and I'm relaying that information to you, a clue, okay, that trade is not super ideal. Let's see, I just want to check VIX. Trying to grind a little higher there. Internal's a little heavy. But you can see it's not so far off the open. Sometimes on really big move days or big catalyst days, you get some good movement. It's been tough past couple of weeks, folks. After Q3 end. The price action has been bleh. So, but Phantoms is coming off of a monster September. So keep your gains. Snow, on the other hand, looking good. Bullishness. This was looking good yesterday too. I think a couple people caught this in the room. Let's see, Snow. Again, that AMD if you wanted to cut. Snow, if you want to pick up the 122 strike, let's go for about $1.32. Not too bad here. You can potentially get into that. We got VWAP here. So maybe if you wanted to wait for a pullback down into around VWAP and catch a next positive COG train, you could potentially do that. All right. 2620. Yeah. If I would want it to get a little bit more deeper in that zone. But the answer, yes. Jose. I can pick up some Snow here. All right, I got some for 135. I didn't do full size on it. We'll see if it pulls back over to, the spread's a little kind of iffy sometimes. But I picked up some snow, make a snowman. All right. Got filled with those at 135. All right, you can see Microsoft pulling back. Apple holding below its VWAP here. Let's see, is NVIDIA still trying to work out or crank here? This week's been tough, folks. This is where your skill set and your experience really shows out. All right, IWM, equal to a new low. I'm still trying to work on SPYs and Qs. It's always on my radar. Qs are trying to break down here. See if I can get a negative COG close here. We don't have that yet. All right, IWM, let's TP some IWM. All right, we got a nice little flush down on small caps. Okay, y'all see that? So as I'm waiting for SPYs and Qs to potentially develop, we got the weaker one, right? We kind of bullied, right? IWM, right? So we can take some profit here on IWM. Let's see, and even these premiums are not pumping that much. I got some off air at 82 cents, which is not super a lot, but Tesla, let me check Tesla. Might be trying to open up a little bit here on some SPYs. Over the time mark here. All right, Q's got negative COG. Now we're coming into this little baby demand zone right here. Q's are still weaker, right? I could like into some Q's here. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time. I'm gonna check Tesla. Let me snag some Q's here. Pick up the 489 here. Looks like we just had a little pullback on this too. Pick up the 489 strike on QQQs here. They're going for about $1.24. I'll even get it in this small account, baby account right here too. All right, I'll check Tesla. That's the 489 strike put. I've got these for 115 in that account. Let me get it my other account over here to the left of me as well. All right, just locked into some Qs. I've been trading futures, S&P, it'll be NASDAQ futures. All right. Something we call the call put matrix for the team, get chart premium. All right, so you can see I bought these Q puts. This is the 49 put premium. So if markets go down, this premium will increase. All right, this is a bot put. Now let me check Tesla for my good friend. Hold on. I wish there was two of me for sure. Believe me. Now on this, you could put take profit order up here for some premium here. All right, see if I can sell some here at 136 premium. So you get 145. Just sell some here. All right. Tesla. Oh, Tesla dump. Anybody catch that? Fall through nicely. Oof. That happened quick. I don't want to chase now on that though. That's the only thing. But you could continue to work on it, right? If we have, for my phantoms who know, we come back up to VWAP, you could potentially take your next negative COG here. All right, but just be patient, right? Always look left. All right, I trapped my own dang self yesterday in Tesla. All right, so always look left, right? Yeah, but we had a little bit of a dump there on that. All right, AMD. I don't know if anybody cut it, but you know, I'm gonna reduce some exposure here. See, they're not even pumping. I must have got a bad fill on this personally myself. But they're going for what, like 158 right now, small. So I'm just gonna take some profit. I don't have a lot of size on this one. I gotta say, this CPI, I was expecting. I sold some off AMD here, 158. Not a big trade by any stretch of the means. Nothing to write home about. But I was expecting kind of some more juice. It's still early. Tesla was giving some juice there. A small profit on that. All right, and you can see we pulled back right in this little baby level here. I'll give y'all some SPX. So pull some VWAPs. Make sure you pull your VWAPs here for today, folks. You can see we're kind of doing a retest from last week's high that popped up. What was one supply is now demand on the other side. All right. Not always, but you have to qualify that. Yep. I see what you said, Sir William. Yeah, let's TP some snow. Looks like snow. It's a tough market, folks. This is why you gotta know what you're doing in this game. That's for sure. And why is my snow not printing here? So these premiums are wacky right now. Market makers maybe play a little bullshit games right now. All right, so snow's still looking good. My premium that I bought it for, y'all might have a better price than me, but I can still work on that. They're going, for me, it's like at break even right now. All right, so we'll see. You know, AVGO break it down, but just be careful AVGO because that is the stronger one. Same thing happened yesterday that we dipped down into demand that we ripped up, make all-time highs. So all right, appreciate TP some IWM. All right, I'm over time now, unfortunately, folks. Listen, trade safe, y'all. All right, trade safe. I've been doing this a long time, and this is not easy conditions here, right? So you should always be patient and disciplined, but you need to be put that patience and discipline on steroids at the moment. And yeah, forgive me, I might be a little off today. You know, I'm a little under the weather, so pretty good, but I'm happy to be alive. All right, I'd rather be under the weather than not have tornado weather like people in Florida right now. So everything, you got to put everything into perspective, right? All right, if you're new here, all right, and this is kind of floating your boat here, and you want to learn more, go to TradePhantoms.com. All right, TradePhantoms.com. You can click that register button there, put your name, email, right, common, right. You'll get sent the link, and today, October 10th, which is today, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, it'll be about a 90-minute class, real quick, hosted by Mr. Green, Mr. Black. Okay, and here's an agenda of what you'll learn. Just a bullet point there, how markets work. We're all professionals here. Okay, myself, Mr. Green, Mr. Black, multi-directional trading. Okay, up, down, sideways. All asset classes, stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto was mentioned yesterday. We did that. We did a piece yesterday on that, and the week before. Okay, if you're just starting out, trading out small accounts, all good. All the way up to if you're trading multi-millions. Okay, it's a one-stop shop for everything here. Right, income and or wealth, and I would say both. Right, everybody needs to be trading for wealth, no matter what. Right, even if you're just starting out with a couple $1,000s. Okay, so not only do we teach, man, we do. Okay, we trade live. Everything that I do is basically recorded, man. So Mr. Black and I were talking the other day. He showed me something. Or he told me something. He's like, man, we trade live, and we trade live, and we give a money back guarantee if you don't like it. I mean, what else can we do? You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people that trade live. I trade live every single day. All right. So if I make a mistake, you see it, right? If I do good things, you see it. If I do bad things, not bad things, but mistake here and there. Made a mistake in Tesla yesterday, right? Everybody saw it. So open door policy, right? There's no BS here. I'm gonna give it to you straight. Give it to you straight. If that floats your boat, great. Take a look at it, see if it's a good fit. If not, that's okay too. And with that said, God bless. Take care. Everybody stay safe. Blessings to anybody who is in Florida right now. Hopefully everything settles down and things get back to quote unquote normal, whatever that is. All right, Blue out. God bless. Trade safe.